Now I got it. Sorry, there were some extra buttons I've never had to hit, I think. But do we all, is everybody there? You can see it now? Let me know. I'm watching the chat group before I start talking too much, just like we do on the stage. It's, there we go. What's up, everybody? So, um, I have this new camera that has motion sensor. If you look, I don't know if you guys can see this, do this, but it's going to move around the room with me if I ever decide to get up and roll. So I think that's I think that's pretty cool. How's everybody doing? Thank you for joining me on this tonight. I really don't know what I expect to achieve here, other than the fact that um, I watched I don't even think I've turned a TV on other than to watch a Star Wars show in the last 3 years, and I'm glued to YouTube, and I watch people and I watch the conversations, and the conversations are fascinating. And a lot of times when I do the stage at shows, I'm performing, but we end up talking, and I sometimes don't know that. Um, sometimes maybe there's more to talk about, and just hanging out with everybody and stuff like that. So that's kind of what I thought that we would try to do here. Eddie Barnes is there, and this is a neat chat room. I can see everybody. Uh, you know, so and Darren's on. So I hope everybody had a good New Year, man. I hope everybody's checked out uh, the new Evick song. But part of what I wanted to go on tonight and start talking about more than anything is Shining Soul. Not just because of my because of the company, but there's a lot of lessons in business. There's a lot of things that I don't know that many of you guys are aware have happened or does happen from the conception of this company some people may find interesting, and that Darren has joined in here. He'll be able to vouch on how some of this stuff happened at the beginning of the company. Because I think a lot of you guys, if you're a Shining Soul fan or a customer, you know that we've had these incredible struggles to the point where I'm putting wood wicks or I'm putting cotton wicks in the jars. And I I just wanted to talk about this for a month to anyone that would listen, how the story goes. So you know, and we'll move on after that. But I wanted to explain to everybody that, and again, Darren uh, can vouch for me on how all this started. Uh, the wooden wicks are just a piece of wood, and I hope you guys find this as interesting as it is for me to tell you guys this. Um, the wooden wicks are just a piece of wood. They're not treated with anything. There's absolutely nothing special about them other than the combination of kinds of woods and the size you use that create different uh, different burn pools, different things. And with that being said, over almost 15 years ago now, I started working with this guy. His name's Phil. And Phil owned a woodwick making company. And um, I was so into the woodwicks, and there were already several companies that did the woodwicks without me, before me. And they never burn right. They never burnt right at all. There's what's called a burn pool in a candle. If you're a candle fanatic, there's a burn pool, and that is that your ultimate goal is to get the wick to burn the candle perfectly round all the way to the edges of the jar, not funnel. That's what it's called. And wood wicks funnel a lot, um, and I know why they don't. But I was deeply rooted in how to create a wick that would work right. and and I worked for years with this guy Phil that owned a company that made wood wicks with a formula. A lot of people that use the wood wicks like to crackle, and you buy these companies have crackle. They sell it about crackling wood wick, and I never really cared much about the crackle. And the piece of cherry wood is what makes the crackle sound. However, cherry burns at a different temperature than other woods. And this is going to get scientific, but it's interesting to me. um, and uh, and the cherry not burning really hot causes a lot of the problems with why the wood wicks don't burn very well. And so one day, Phil, the guy that makes these wood wicks, suggested we try a different kind of wood, uh, oak wood. Oak burns super hot, so but it doesn't crackle. So we went through the combination of oak and cherry and changed some sizes for different things, and I created what I consider the best wood wick burning candle on the market. Uh, and we test it and we test it and I tried everything. There's so much other stuff. Michael Thompson, Mike, that is Vaughn's VC Rich sitting right there. um, so the I got this perfect thing, this perfect combination of the wood wicks. I was so proud of it. Um, but along comes this woman that doesn't even make candles, and she patents the wood wick. And you shouldn't be able to patent a wood wick. It's a piece of wood. You should not be allowed to patent that. And she does, and lots of people have been fighting her for 10 years. But she is I forget what soap opera she was on, but she was a soap star. She has a ton of money, and her partners and her investors have a ton of money. Her name is Dana Decker, or something like that. Dana Decker. Anyway, so she patented the wood wick, and then she decided that she was going to pick one person in the entire world that was allowed to make those wicks for her. Anyone could buy them. You could still buy them, but you were going to have to buy them funneled down from one guy. The guy she picked was Phil, my friend, which was great because we had an ongoing relationship that helped me work with him. He worked with me, and we continued to avoid some of the problems. We played by the rules. I didn't infringe on her patent in any way, shape, or form. But I was the only guy, and still am the only guy in the entire world using the oak and cherry combination in the way that I do. I even went to bat to the candle industry. I went and told everyone I figured out how to do this. This is right. But no one wanted to listen to me because the oak doesn't crackle, and they figure if you have to have a wood wick, it's got to crackle. So that's the wicks that I've been using for 10 years that I'm proud of. And my point to this is that I don't just use wood wicks. I firmly believe that I invented the wick that I'm using, uh, you know, perfectly. And so it's mine. It's something that I'm proud of. And so as time goes on, my buddy Phil sells his company, the company that's making the wood wicks, about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago. And Phil's a passionate guy, and I think the people he sold it to just wanted want to make money. They wanted to get into a business that was making money, and so I started seeing downgrade. We also used to get the lids from them, the lids and the wood wicks, and I started seeing a downgrade in not quality of product, but of customer service. I don't know if they were overwhelmed. They were trying to do new things, but it would take longer and longer for us to get products. This was post pandemic and post supply chain problem. It was just problems they were having. It started to become very, very frustrating to me. I started to fall behind in the speed in which we could make things, you know. And then, so the truth of the matter is, maybe Darren might be able to do better with me with the timeline, but I have 45 viewers. I have 45 people watching, man. I hope you guys stay interested in this. We'll finish this and we'll move on to some other stuff first, but it's just been on my mind, and this is how I wanted to start this. So maybe about 3 months ago, I ordered some wicks from this company, and 2 weeks went by, no wicks, and I called and I said, where are my wicks? Oh, we're sorry, it's going to be another week. Well, could someone call me or tell me I'm running a business here? Oh no, they just didn't think of it. It didn't occur to them to call and let us know we weren't going to get the wicks. Thanks, Eddie. um, so then they promised me they'd have them out by uh, Thursday of that week. Thursday goes by. I don't get a confirmation email, anything, the tracking number, all those things. And my brain just knows that they didn't ship. So I called and I said, "Can I get a tracking number?" "Oh my gosh, we're sorry again. We promise they'll ship tomorrow." Uh, so here I am. What was it, Darren? If you're still watching, a month, maybe 5 weeks with no wicks. No, 4 weeks. 4 weeks with no wicks to make any candles. Um, and then the Friday goes by, no tracking number, no nothing. And in my heart, I know that once again these wicks have not shipped. I know that for a fact. Um, so then, 50 people watching. That's awesome. So then I wait the whole weekend out, and I wait till Monday, and Monday I contact them. Where are the wicks? Can I get a tracking number? So they give me a tracking number, and I don't know how many of you guys work in shipping or know anything about this, but you can print you can print a tracking number. You can print the label and act like you're shipping it, but until it's in FedEx's hands, it hasn't shipped. So they gave me the tracking number, and I hit the tracking number, and it comes up and it uh, says, uh, "We have your tracking number. We can't ship your package yet because it has not been turned into FedEx." So here we go. This is the third time they've flat out lied to me, but they are about to ship it. There's a track number, so there is a package. So it turns out that somewhere between 5 and 6 weeks went by with my inability to make any candles, uh, which is devastating. My stores were empty. The Myrtle Beach was in the middle of the hot season, and the woman that runs that store for us is this. She's a saint of a woman, and she's a businesswoman. She worked for Yankee Candle a bunch in her life. She understands the industry. What's up, Bob? Uh, so it gets better. This is just the beginning of the story. Uh, the economy had been bad all year long. There'd been a lot of troubles. Every turn that was coming at me felt like it was just signs to shut Shining Soul down after I'd created something, man, and I'll get into that too, because I think you guys have all kind of noticed Darren's doing his own thing and I'm doing my own thing. And just to throw that out there, one of the things that me and Darren kind of learned about each other is I wanted to create a brand and a product, and Darren's into business. Darren wants to sell things, and so we're childhood friends and we're going to die friends, but we learn very patiently with each other and very calmly that we have two different philosophies on what business is about. And Black Metal and Shining Soul, Darren basically agreed to just let me run Shining Soul exactly as I would like to run it. He's running Black Metal all by himself, and we're still friends, and Darren's still on paper part of the business and still helps out and does things. But that store that he's running is time consuming as it gets, and he's happy as could be over there. But what was my point about that? Oh, so my point is, all these things happen with Shining Soul. It's getting harder and harder. Darren's busier over here. Sarah's not with the company. And to be honest with all you guys, I don't know how many of you guys there are that know me from the beginning. There was a big chunk of my heart that was ripped out when Sarah wasn't part of the company anymore that I've never recovered from. I've never. There's a guilt, although it happened because it had to happen. There's a guilt in me that she was there from the very beginning, and she believed and got behind me and sacrificed time with her family and all this stuff. And but as the company grew, it had to change. It just had to change. And her version of the story might be a little bit different. I don't know. But so all this stuff is just down on me, and then this wick problem comes, and I can't even make candles, and it's it's just destroying me. And I'm, and the worst part about it is for me is I become not even worried about myself anymore. I have this incredible pride that I employ people and pay them. They come first. So when you start a business, you think you're going to get rich, you're going to make money, and you're going to do all this, and then that goes out when times get tough and you're struggling to make sure the other people get paid, and they become your family and they're showing up and they know you're struggling and they're still standing by you. Then the whole shift becomes something different. And what you're fighting for is not your own pocket in any way, shape, or form. You're fighting you're fighting for the people that believed in you, and so that's where I was mentally. And I know I posted a lot of stuff on Facebook that sounded like I was, me and Darren have talked about shutting the shops down. We've talked about what the right thing to do is, and the roller coaster ride it's been for Darren has been amazing because I will call him at midnight and be like, "That's it, tomorrow's the last day. We're never doing this again." And then I wake up in the morning and I'm like, "Oh man, everything's great. Like like we're gonna win. Everything's great. Today's the day." And there's so the wick, all that is happening in my head while these wicks aren't coming. It's making me fucking insane. And so I write them this awful letter, threatening to sue them, telling them what they have done wrong to me, and other people they've affected, a couple other wholesale accounts that they've affected, all this stuff, and they never even respond. They never even say anything to me, but it's time to order wicks again, and this time we're and it's time to order wicks again, and I time it so that the wicks should be there the week before Black Friday, so that we can crank out all of our stuff for the only part of the season that matters. That Black Friday, Shop Small Saturday, and Cyber Monday float retail business. If you don't do good those 3 days, you're going out of business in January or February. It's if you're a small business. That's a fact, man. I'm telling you, that's a fact. And so Friday comes before Black Friday, no wicks. And then Monday comes and the wicks finally come. So now I have 4 days to make 2 stores worth of candles for the holiday season to survive and to pay our staff. And the wicks aren't right. They don't send me the oak. But the bag says that they're the oak wicks. And all of a sudden this occurs to me that they don't have any idea. No one, when Phil sold the company, they don't have any idea of the science of any of this. They literally thought they had pulled the wool over my eye because they didn't have the oak, is what I suspect. So I write them a letter and I said, "Hi guys, I'm not trying to be rude, but for safety reasons, I need to understand if you guys understand. I need to know that you guys understand that wood is not just wood, and you sent me these wicks, and I'm guaranteeing that they're oak, they're not cherry. And if they're not the right wood, I can burn a house down. A lot can go wrong. We're playing with fire. That sounds stupid. We're fucking playing with fire, right?" I don't know if I'm allowed to say the F word on YouTube. I don't know how any of this goes, but anyway. So they write back, "Oh my gosh, we're so sorry. We did send you the wrong wicks. We'll send you the new wicks, the right wicks as soon as we can." I said, "Well, I'm basically out of business. I'm sitting here I'm 4 days from Black Friday, and I don't have a single thing to sell. Nothing to sell." Horrifying. So my only choice is to go to the wood wicks, or to the cotton wicks. And my friend, I'm panicking because the closest place to get cotton wicks that I know are working. You have to do a lot of science, by the way. You have to different wick sizes burn different pools, different things. It's not as simple as the hobbyist will make you to believe when you're making a product that you're selling all over the world to different people, right? If you didn't say the F word once, I think you were a pop person. Uh, so, sorry, I was reading a couple comments. Um, so I my gut had told me a few months ago that I was going to have a problem, so I started experimenting with the cotton wicks. Uh, I got prepared, but I didn't think it was going to happen at Black Friday. So my friend Mark Olson, who is a big time guy down in the city of Manassas, he happened to be going to Raleigh, which is the closest place that I can get these wicks. And again, it's Monday now, and Black Friday is Black Friday. So if I order these things Monday, they'll ship Tuesday. They'll get to me Wednesday. If I was able to make 1,000 candles Wednesday, they still have to be. There's a whole other process, including the cleaning of those candles, the labeling, and the lidding of those candles. That takes basically it takes about 2 days to pump out 200 pieces, and then get the one shipment all the way down to Myrtle Beach. So fate intervened in such a way, I swear. That my friend Mark Olson was going down to Raleigh to pick up his kid and coming back that day for the holidays. So by Monday night, I had wicks in my hand, and I was cranking this stuff out just to get it out for Black Friday. And so after this wick company being fraudulent to me 3 or 4 different times, bad customer service, never calling to tell me the product wasn't coming, I have a list of things that literally caused me and Darren was much more calm about it. He Darren was calmer about it than I was, but I think he knew it was a terrible situation. But similar to me and Brett, if there's something terrible going on, both me and Brett being worked up, we always talk about that doesn't help us. One of us has to stay calm. And again, Darren was, business was terrible in Old Town this summer. So he's over there with his own shop, panicking too. Not to say that his business wasn't doing good, but everybody downtown's panicking in Manassas because the summer was just frightening. So I feel all alone in this thing, man. I feel all alone, panicking and making wicks with these cotton wicks, but they're burning flawlessly. They're eco-friendly cotton wicks. They don't have a lead core in them, which was the important thing that was always important to me about Shining Souls being eco-friendly. And so here's the dilemma, and I'm talking to 66 people on here, and if you guys are all listening, and if you've been a Shining Soul fan, here's my dilemma. Do I go? I'm making these things with cotton wicks now, and they're burning great, and the product is great. Do I keep going, or do I go back to the wooden wick and deal with all this stress again that I don't want to deal with? Like, so many of you love the wood wick, but the truth be told, I know a ton of people that don't buy my product because they don't like the wood wick. So, as customers that all have Shining Soul candles, are you guys going to keep supporting us and keep buying what I'm making with the cotton wicks? Like, I didn't even announce we were making cotton wicks other than one email and one post, and I just put them out in the store and started selling them, shipping them, and I've never wanted to steal a copyright so bad as Mari, Mari, wait a minute. It's a half hour till Skeleton Crew. I get that. I get to have you for that half hour. That's awesome. So what about putting in 3 wicks instead of 1? Well, I don't want to do that. I don't, that's not the issue, Amy. The issue is cotton wicks versus wood wicks, and does it matter? This company needs to be reported to the Better Business Bureau, right? Oh, Kurt's in there with me too. Both wicks are great for different reasons, fine, no matter what. Whatever is best for the company. So, Mari, you guys have been burning them. They've been working great, right? I that's glad to hear that. I haven't had much feedback yet. I'm burning them in my house, and I burn them in the store. The wood wicks could become small batch releases, right, Darren? That's what I think. But the thing, guys, the one thing that I want you guys to know is the hardest part about this is I created that. It's my invention. That wick that we're using, not the wood wick, but that wood wick combination and size. It's my invention. I revolutionized the candle industry, and I made such an impact. Before COVID, man, you guys were following us. Me and Darren had that stuff all over the country. We had that stuff in Bed Bath and Beyond, Surf Style, major chains, and we had 14 full time employees in this warehouse cranking this stuff out, you know, and and the interesting thing about that too. A lot of people ask me about that is, and this is where me and Darren maybe different in what I've come to learn is I never wanted any of that. But the ride, you get on this ride, and all of a sudden you're doing this. I wanted to be small batch. I wanted it to be something that was like a cult following. I wanted it to be like the Volupsa candles, and I wanted it to be this thing that was underground but giant. And I never dreamed of being this mass-produced product that we were shipping out at such speeds and quantities that we couldn't even keep track of. And so when we decided to shut the warehouse down and scale this all back down, that was the greatest day of my life. It's funny, I was just the other day walking past the store, and this front of the first Shining Soul store, the one in Manassas, says made on site. We never took that sign down when we moved into that warehouse, but that was supposed to be the goal, was made on site. That was that was what we were about, and I lost sight of that. And we did things that never felt right, but felt amazing that we were achieving it. It was really weird. It was like I was climbing someone else's ladder, and I was happy to be there, but it was never what my original personal vision was. And I want to thank Darren, since he's on here anyway. I plan on saying this anyway. I thank Darren for literally taking the step back and let me realize my vision. Me and him had a talk one day. I don't know how much he thinks about it, but once he'd opened Black Metal, and he was over there, and everything was just his decision. No matter what it is, it's just his decision. I said, Darren, everything you get to do is 100% because of you. I said, you and me are childhood friends, but in Shining Soul, if I want to do something or you want to do something, just out of respect, we have to ask each other. And if one of us doesn't like it, that partnership can become tense. And I said, I'm jealous. I never used the word jealous. I refuse to use the word jealous. But I said, I'm jealous of you because you're over here doing whatever you want, whether this works or doesn't work. And he afforded me the grace to basically say, all right, go over there and do what you got to do. But we were underground. We were underground, and climbing out of this hole is going to be tremendous. Climbing out of the Shining Soul hole that we both dug is a weight that I still don't know that I can survive. But so that brings me to the next thing is I've upgraded so many things in the candle that I don't think you guys noticed. Maybe some of you guys have noticed. After all these years, the one thing that was bothering me about being eco-friendly was the lid. Even though the lid's made of wood, and most people consider wood to be eco-friendly, it's not always. There's other sustainable woods better than others. And finally this year, we made the jump to a bamboo lid. And the bamboo lid actually looks better, and it's a much better quality product, and it's more expensive, which cuts into the profit and causes a bigger problem. But I took that step because I want it to be a better product. And I don't know if any of you guys have had those candles, have checked. You can't, Amy, I can't patent the wick. She has the patent on it. That's what I'm trying to say. I'll look at the motion tracker, is amazing. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a miserable experience that I'm in. A woman owns a patent on something I feel like I created. So we've upgraded to the cotton wicks, and I really would like to stay there, but I'd really like to know it's okay from all the fans and supporters. I like them. I like the way they burn. I'm proud of the product. And now we have this bamboo lid that I love, that's classier. But so that leads me to today, and the reason I decided to do this tonight. I don't know that, like I said, I want to turn this into kind of like every day, not an every day, a once a week podcasty type of thing. Maybe eventually have guests. I don't know, but but I wanted to do this today, starting with this because everything upgrades. I always talk the story about Sears. Sears was Sears, and it was the greatest thing in the world until Walmart came, and you can get content being great until something sneaks up behind you and becomes greater. And with that being said, when we started making the candles, we were making them with soy wax. Soy wax was the trendy, big, hip thing, eco-friendly, great stuff. But it frost. It makes that frosting stuff, and there's a few other things that happen. Well, so coconut wax is a new thing, and it's eco-friendly as well. It's sustainable. It's a lot of cool things about coconut wax. And just today, I started running the test on that. So I think in the next week, I'll be able to make this announcement that I've overhauled the entire product. After 10 to 12 years, you got to evolve, right? Instead of just, as long as it's actually getting better, not getting cheaper. And so I'm super excited. In fact, I had to let them dry at the shop today, and I didn't bring them home. And when this is done, I might drive all the way back down there just to get these things and test them today. I'm very excited. So as far as Shining Soul goes, that's what I want to tell you guys. It's been a tremendous year. It's been a struggle mentally. It's been a struggle financially, but I see the light. I'm excited, but I'm coming out of the gates this year with basically a brand new, improved product, from the wick, the wax, to the lid, to everything. And I hope you guys try it, like it, continue to support, and continue to spread the word. I really, success is a curse. It makes smart people think they can't make. You get it, Kurt. All you guys that don't know though, Kurt he's been a buddy of mine a long time, and he's the only guy in the world I'll trust when I have a problem with Apple that I can't figure out myself. I'll call him, and he's also been a therapist to me in a lot of ways. He's an incredible businessman himself, and so thank you for that, Kurt. That's a very true statement. But so there you go with Shining Soul. I needed to get that off my chest to anyone that would listen. What that company did to me, and there were moments I thought I was having a heart attack. I'd never felt more alone in my entire life. Not at anyone else's fault. I just couldn't explain it to anyone. I felt like no one in the world had ever been in this particular predicament. And I just wanted to build back, man. I wanted to build back. And so I hope you guys all continue to support us, and I hope you guys continue to love. I got some great new products coming out. I think some of you guys saw the stuff this weekend if you were in town for the show, some of the new jars. There's Lisa right there. Lisa, it's about the scent and how the candles burn. So I don't know how long Lisa's been on, but Lisa is the woman I was talking about in Myrtle Beach. Lisa, I don't know. Everyone that's listening can tell you I was singing your praises and talking about how grateful I am for you, and obviously Janet at my Manassas shop. So, thank you for being on, Lisa. That's cool. Everyone say hello to Lisa. Yeah, so that's the story of Shining Soul, and I can't wait to see where it goes. And thank you guys for. I mean, I'm 12 years into this, but as far as you guys are concerned, there's 10 years of making these candles. That 10 years went by really, really fast, and most of you have been there from the beginning and probably spent thousands and thousands of dollars on my stuff, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful, and let's just hope I can do this for another 10 years and make a dent. So, so there's that. That's one of the biggest things I wanted to chat about today, and wanted to see if I could hold anybody's interest. We've had about 60 viewers the whole time going, and it's funny. I watch everybody on YouTube all day long, and I get annoyed as shit. But I at this one thing, and here I go. I'm about to do it myself. If you guys are having a good time, if you're enjoying this, I need you to hit the subscribe and the like button. That's how you grow this kind of stuff. And it's funny, I have 10,000 Facebook friends in both of my accounts, 8,000 in one, 10,000 in another, and 4,000 friends on Instagram. And I only have just about 500 followers on YouTube. And YouTube is where I want to go with my content, my videos, and all this kind of stuff. So, if you guys haven't subscribed yet, I would love you to hit subscribe. And then, so there's that. What is the next topic? Someone else. What else can we chat about here for a few minutes before we? We're grateful for your. Thank you, Terry. Thank you guys all. Such kind things you're saying. John, thanks, buddy. Thank you. So just like that, I'm a YouTuber, I guess. I don't know. I also wanted to show off my new camera and the Star Wars thing my kid made for me. I got to duck my head, and you can see my Van Halen guitar back there. Um, you know. Oh, there's Wesley. Yeah, you love my song, My Best Days. Thank you so much. I love that song too. The new single, yeah. Bob, do you like it? Have you downloaded it? Have all you guys checked out the new track? It's funny. I have a hard time saying your last one. Uh, John Taylor? What is up with Evick this year? John, Evick is what it is. All of us are completely busy. I know that a lot of you think that Brett is going to slow down. I don't think he is. We're booking dates already, and we're busy as it is. So Evick just does our gig once a year. We'd like to play more. Where we live just doesn't have. Um, it's not a mecca for all original music, and it's really hard for us to do that. So we play we're loud. Most bands in our area, in the Northern Virginia area, have to play quiet, and I refuse to play quiet. So there's just a very limited amount of places for Evick to do what we do, unless I was to quit Brett's band and take it back out on the road and just do it full time, which I could probably do. But the other three guys don't. Chuck doesn't want to do that, and I'm never ever doing it without Chuck. Chuck is as much Evick as I am. So is Ray and Matt, but Chuck is not. I can barely get him to go to Ocean City to do an acoustic gig. So, but it looks like you guys all say you love the song. I appreciate that very much. It's interesting to me. I hope to see you guys soon. Hope Brett take care of himself. It's interesting when you have a song. Even though I'm 52 years old, I've always been taught that a good song finds its way. So when people like my song, I get really excited. I'm like, oh, it's great. This is an interesting thing to think about. And I'm talking about any band, lots of bands, so I have this song, and I have, let's just say 2,000 or 3,000 friends that think the song's great. And I see every one of you guys paste that you love the song, check out the song, tell your friends to check out the song. I watch you guys do all this. So it's interesting. Even like with Bret Michaels songs and like Unbroken and stuff like that. Unbroken was a phenomenal song with a phenomenal message. So what do you think it is that with a whole bunch of people, with thousands of people telling people to check out this new song, it's never really going to go any farther than it already is? It's the interesting thing about the music business, right? That song came out, and there it is. Everyone's heard it. That's probably ever going to hear it. I'll try to push it for a few more weeks. Maybe another 1,000 people will hear it. But what's the difference? What's the difference? And everyone talks about marketing. This is something that's so very interesting to me. Everyone talks about your marketing and big record labels and all that stuff. And I've been signed to record labels. I know how all this stuff works. But and there you go, Trisha. You're saying it's such a hard industry, but let's take the industry out of it. And I'm not just talking about my song. Let's talk about how this works, and think about this. A good song's a good song, right? So if you like that song, why doesn't 100,000 other people like it? There's I probably know 300 or 400 people, including a couple industry professionals that have. I have two people in the industry that don't bullshit me in any way, shape, or form. They tell me 100% the truth all the time, and both of them told me this is a great song. They love it. The best song they've ever heard from me. The story's great. The chorus is great. It has all the makings of what is a great song. So why is it not? And someone else's song is, right? Because at the end of the day, Grassroots is still everything. And if there's enough people that go, hey, I love this song, check it out, then the next person should say, oh, I love that song too, check it out. And it should just spread like wildfire. That's what should happen. So what happens that's interesting to me is I have 1,000 people that love this song and they go, check this song out. And then it stops. So it's obviously not nearly as good as I think it is. It's interesting how that works. And I'm not complaining. You guys are my friends. You're my family. I love the song. I wrote the song for myself. I didn't write it to be a hit song. At 52 years old, I'm not doing that. But it's just interesting how it works. And I don't know if you guys have ever thought much about that. Attention spans are smaller than we ever thought they would be. That's a fact. I love the new song. Sorry to be joining so late. You have to get it in a commercial. That is true. Getting it in a commercial helps. But again, it's, take it like the coronavirus. It should be, it's spread as easy as that. Someone breathes on someone. Hey, check out this new song. All right, I will. There it is. 3 seconds. And you should be, not just me again. I'm talking about the music industry. It should be like that. And so the question is, are anyone's songs not as good as anyone thinks they are? Or is it just, or a lot of people need to be told they like something from someone important to them. They do have to be hand fed, and that's where the commercials and the video games really play into stuff. And getting your song placed like that is a big deal. April Quinn, my old friend April, congratulations, thank you. You can write a commercial for my company. I would love to, Craig. Are you going to pay me what commercials get paid to me, or am I doing that one for free for my old buddy? What's the process of getting a song on something like Hair Nation series? Well, Trisha, Eddie Trunks already played the song. Tommy London will probably play it. Mark Sherrill will probably play it. I have the support. The song was played on 5 or 6 different radio stations today, from Reno to Long Island. But they can only play it 1 or 2 times unless the people call in and start asking to hear it and demand it. And so it's funny how that all works. Connect to a TikTok like Billy Joel. It's funny you say that, Dave, because again, that costs money. Our management company in the Bret Michaels Band, UTA, is the biggest entertainment company in the entire world. And I went to them about doing a TikTok thing with, you have to buy the influencer. If you think those guys are doing that stuff for free, it's just not how it works. I think at one point I talked to someone at UTA about buying an influencer for Gavin, and they wanted like $15,000 was going to get us a couple days on some C-level influencers. So you got to weigh out, is that worth it? Because will you ever get, then it becomes a business. Will I get the return on that $15,000 back? You don't know, because music doesn't make any money, right? They need a station for new rock. Mary, you are 100% correct. And one of the main guys that runs Sirius is a friend of mine, and we had this talk when Gavin's song came out. I was talking to him about how to fit it in and where it can go. His name's Eric Loveglass, and he worked for VH1 Classic. He's worked for all kinds of companies. He's managed all kinds of bands. He's incredibly intelligent dude in the music industry. And we had a conversation of why Sirius doesn't have a new music channel. And the truth of the matter is, no one's really interested. It's the music industry. Everyone wants new music, and the most interesting part about the music industry to me, much like Star Wars, I don't know if Mari is still watching, but Def Leppard and Star Wars are the 2 examples I talk about how finicky fans themselves can be, because this happens to both of them. The Def Leppard fans want them to rewrite Hysteria. Just give me old sounding Def Leppard. And then they give it to them. And then the fans go, that sucks. Can't you give us anything new? It just sounds like the old shit. Same thing with Star Wars. I wish it was like old Star Wars. Well, here you go. Well, you can't think of any other better ideas? You suck. And it's this vicious circle between the fans and the artists that just, it's brutal. I'm sorry, I'm just reading some of the content. What's going on with Gavin's band? Gavin and his guitar player are working nonstop on writing lots of new songs, so that we don't put out just one song every year, one song every 6 or 8 months. They're also trying to define a sound that still has that 80s influence, but doesn't sound like a direct, like we're just stealing those sounds. They're trying to find their own place. They're working really hard at it, and Gavin is becoming a producer. He's following in my footsteps that way, and I couldn't be more proud. He's learning about how to make records, and so that's where he's going with that. Mari, facts. Look at the eyes. Not that most of the music these days isn't pure crap, but there's just a lot of it. There is a lot. Actually, I don't know. I was watching somebody else the other day and found out that last year, I forget the exact number, but it's something like 15% more music was released last year than any time in the history of music release. There is more music now than has ever been being made, so you have to wade through it, But then it just goes back to what I was saying. So there's 61 people watching me right now. 61 of you say you love that song. So 61 of you should be able to tell 5 of your friends, and by tomorrow it should spread. It just doesn't. It just doesn't work like that, I'm not, I guess that's what I decided to get on here and do, is chat about everything and anything. So that's my thing on the music business. What else would we have to say today? Is there anything else we can chat about before I dive into? I'm not going to get into my end of the world political stuff, and it's not even political. My stuff's not political, but trying to avoid that topic. Although if I continue to do this stuff, other episodes are going to have to be about all of that. I will tell you guys this. Maybe I'll save it. Just some crazy stuff going on. I guess we're a few days away from the inauguration, and I fear that something is going to go down on that day. That's for sure. I love the new Def Leppard music. It is an embarrassment of riches. There's so much that none of it is sticky. Yep, that's it. You got 7 minutes to Skeleton Crew. Come on, Mari. If I'm not watching, you don't have to watch it. Sad part is not everyone was passionate supporter of music. So it's funny. I'm talking to my friend Mari, who does a Star Wars podcast, who has been kind enough to have me on it before. And like me, she's a fanatic. So I'd ask you guys this, anyone out there in the chat rooms. I'm such a fanatic to Star Wars. I think you guys know this, that I set my alarm back when when the shows would debut at 3 a.m. on the East Coast. I would literally set my alarm, wake up, so I would literally see the new Star Wars episodes when it was streaming. When the last Star Wars movie, Rise of Skywalker, came out, it was the first time that I actually had a gig out of town the night it debuted, and I flew my entire family, including Boba, to Orlando so that we could catch the midnight showing after my gig that night. That's how much of a fanatic I am to Star Wars. But my question to any of you guys, or any of you guys fanatics about anything like that, is anything that important to you that you set your alarm for 3 o'clock in the morning to make sure that you see it before anyone else in the world sees it? Look at everybody. It's funny. It's hard to do this, to stop, and I want to communicate, but I'm supposed to continue to look at the camera. And then it's funny. I have a TV right here that I'm watching it on the big screen. I have the little camera that I'm talking to, that it has a screen, and then I have the actually what's streaming live on YouTube, and the YouTube thing is delayed. So I'm looking at the camera, everything looks fine, and then I look down here to look at the messages, and then I look up and I can see myself looking down because it's delayed and it's very uninteresting. So I'm gonna have to learn to figure out how to not look too much at the chat room, man. Unfortunately, there are no new Harry Potter movies. April, it's funny. I was thinking about that the other day because I wasn't a fanatic of the Harry Potter movies, but I certainly loved them. I didn't like that spin-off stuff they did at all. I didn't like that, but I feel like they could create some more Harry Potter that would be fascinating, and some people would desire it so much that they would set alarm clocks to watch it. I never watched the Twilight one time. I never. I hear you, Whitey. Brian Snelling's always making fun of my Star Wars stuff. Admit I've never seen a Star Wars. It's funny when people say I have to admit I've never seen a Star Wars movie, and it's almost like they think that I'm gonna get confrontational about it. Let me tell you guys something. I've never seen Airplane. I've never seen Top Gun. There, there's a ton of movies that I've never seen that I feel like shock people just as much as people get shocked. The Goodfellas movies, I hadn't seen those till Brett forced me to watch those. I set my alarm for McRib sauce. I hear you. I'll tell you guys it's an interesting story. So again, my buddy Kurt, one of my closest friends. Thank you for even being on here. Especially Kurt, don't you go to bed at like 9:00? Like you're 2 minutes to bedtime. So, so my buddy Kurt and Chuck are fanatics about this McRib sandwich. Complete fanatics. So when it's all they think about, it's all they talk about when it comes out. And Chuck not so much, but Kurt's a super intelligent dude. Like there's way more important things in his life than McRib, but it changes when this thing comes out. He gets different. So anyway, I've never ever had a McRib in my life. And that's right. I only watched National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. That's what I was trying to think of. I had never seen that till last week. Christmas Story. I've never watched Christmas Story all the way through. I've never ever once, ever. So back to the McRib. So I'm on the phone with Kurt, and I'm going to get some lunch. Well, I'm talking to him about an Apple problem that I'm having, and he's trying to help me solve. And I'm thinking, I'm on the phone with Kurt. What can I do? I'll stop to get something to eat. Let me go order a McRib. I'll have my first McRib on the phone with Kurt while he's helping me out. And he's there so he can justify and tell you the truth of the story. I got to the drive-thru. I said, Kurt, this is it. You're going to share my McRib with me. And I order the McRib. Signs everywhere, McRib. Everywhere. And this motherfucker's, sorry, we're out of McRibs. I had no interest in anything else from McDonald's, but I'm already in the line. You can't back out of the line. The McDonald's drive-thru line, main ingredient in the McRib is scalded stomach. I hear you, Chris. And I had no interest in anything else, but then I ended up having to buy a quarter pounder because I couldn't say, well, I don't want anything. I'm not going to be that fucking guy. But so I still haven't had a McRib. And I ended up having to eat crappy McDonald's. Tell them it's true. Right? There it is. I don't even know what that word means. What's crestfallen? See, I told you he was smart. He knows words that the rest of... Well, maybe you all know that. I don't know. I don't have any idea. So speaking of music fans, it'd be important to me, and I would appreciate it if all you guys... I dated Chuck when he worked at the Burger King in front of the mall. He carried his stick store too. April, I'm going to get right back to that for a second, but before I forget, my good friend Patrick Kennison, who is Lita Ford's guitar player, he released some new music today, and I'm begging all of you that are interested in finding new music to give it a listen. Maybe tell a friend. See, I'm doing my job, I'm trying to spread the word. Patrick's a wonderful guitar player, a wonderful singer. When Lita does "Close Your Eyes," he's the one that does the Ozzy parts and gives you chills every time. You know, so check his go. I forget the name of the song, and I'm afraid to touch anything. I see other guys that do these YouTube lives and they're typing and doing everything. I'm afraid to do any of that. So his name's Patrick Kennison. He plays guitar for Lita Ford. He released some new music today. It's awesome. Just check it out. April. So it's funny you talk about Chuck at Burger King. I know you weren't at my show the other night, but I know that you saw the tribute I did, including Wes passing away. But at the intro to my show, I was so, for any of you guys that were there, you have to know. And if you didn't come to the Evick show this year and missed it, I might not ever do it again because I can't top it. I did an intro that I was so proud of myself. It was a Star Wars crawl. And the reason I did the Star Wars crawl was because the Salisbury Center, the room that we played in, is the room that I saw Star Wars in 1978. And and this year they'd moved the stage so that we were playing exactly where I watched it. The first two times we've played there, it was facing a different direction. So we were playing exactly at the spot where my eyes were on Star Wars. So so that for those of you guys that didn't see it, the lights went dark, and instead of the Star Wars logo, the Evick logo came up, and then the crawl came out. And the crawl started by saying 48 years ago, I was staring exactly where you guys are staring, watching Star Wars for the first time. And then the next thing, April, the next thing says, 36 years ago, I met Chuck Fansall at a Burger King a couple miles from here. So it's funny that any of you guys that never believed me that Chuck worked at the Burger King, the girl that Chuck dated, April, has been my friend for 38 years probably, dated him while he worked at the Burger King. I saw the video of the tribute, brought me to tears. Thank you, Trisha. It was amazing. Yeah, the intro, like I almost want to post the intro myself, just the actual video that I had made online for everyone to see it. I was super proud of it. And then at one point, for those of you guys that might remember that are from Manassas, I used to own a recording studio. There's Janet. There's the other saving grace of Shining Soul. There's Lisa in Myrtle Beach and Janet in Janet in Manassas. The whole reason I wake up in the morning and keep making candles, both of them. So the crawl said that I had met Matt and Chuck at a recording studio that I'd owned called Clear Sound, just 500 yards from where you're standing right now, which was in that shopping center across the street from Osborne Park High School. And on Thursday, when Chuck saw the crawl, we had to fight. He wanted to argue, there's no way that's 500 yards. 500 yards. I think I said feed him and they go 500 yards. But Matt and Ray came to my defense and said, yeah, it's about 500 yards. But Chuck will challenge me all the time, always. You should absolutely post it there. Maybe I will. Post it. I haven't seen it, Maury. So 78, you were just a young kid. I was. So, we're 4 minutes away from Skeleton Crew. I have to wrap this thing up. That's the best thing I'll have to do is have to do this on Tuesdays if I continue to do it so that I know that I'll stop in time. Because an hour, you guys are 63 of you guys have hung out with me here for an hour just chatting about nothing. I hope that's entertaining to you guys. It's certainly almost like therapy for me. I'm walking out of this, excited, had fun. I need to find a way to read those comments faster, not like I'm staring down. But if I continue to do this, you guys think you'll join back and come and hang out? Oh, there's Tim. What's up, buddy? Tim? Again, another incredible artist, musician, actor. He's a go-getter guy. Probably more so than me, man. He chases his dreams like no one I've ever seen. Tim Sharon. If you guys are on your social media accounts, look him up and check him out and check out all the stuff that he's doing. And now the guy that's running my record label is calling me, probably telling me that I spent. Here, let's see. Hold on a second. Hey, Dave.
Hey, dude.
You are on speakerphone while I'm doing my YouTube live, so I have 64 people listening.
Well, then
Are you gonna tell me something terrible?
It's terrible, awful,
Oh, what is that?
disgusting. No,
This is new. How many times? This is the new YouTube thing. I'm gonna start a new trend.
yeah,
Talk
I
on
saw
talk,
that.
talk on the phone while you're doing a YouTube live.
There you go. It's
Do you
a whole new concept.
do you want me to call you back though? Like I'm wrapping this up.
Yeah, call me back. It's about interviews and stuff. So you have some requests.
Wait. Darren's saying, is Tedder calling to ask how to fix his computer? See, it's a small world. All right, I'll call you in a
No,
bit.
I would call Darren. Why would I call Pete for that? For fuck's
He
sake.
just found
Darren?
he just
I
had
would call Darren for
yeah
that.
yeah. Dave would call you, Darren. All right, I'll call you in a few minutes.
Okay, man.
Bye. There, maybe I broke some kind of history there. Maybe I did something new. I've never seen a YouTuber answer the phone, so maybe that's it. Anyway, guys, you guys are awesome. Thank you for being part of my first one. Thanks for listening to me tell my story about the past and the future of Shining Soul. Uh, and I hope there was some entertainment, and I'll get better at this. And then I'll start having guests, and we'll start having some fun. But if you don't mind, just subscribe to the YouTube page, and let's see. I don't know if you guys saw, I put some video up of the Evick show, which I didn't want to do. It doesn't sound great. It's not amazing, but I put some of it up on the YouTube page just to have some other content here. And, any way that I can connect is, like the new song says, doing this also has a lot to do with the new song is we just learned that life is too short, and I have a lot of people. Every single one of you guys make sure that I get to do what I do for a living, and any way I can connect with you guys in any way, shape, or form that makes sense. A year ago I thought doing something like this was absolutely stupid and arrogant, and now I don't think that. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. I don't know, but I had a good time with it. Thank you guys for listening to me talk. Thank you for communicating and not just sitting there listening to me talk. And maybe we'll do this again if you guys want to. If you want to, say yes in the comments. Just type yes. I learned that from another YouTuber. There's a YouTuber guy I watch that always asks the fans, put a 1 for this, put a 2 for this. So put a Y for yes or an N for no if you guys would come back and do this with me. Other than that, I'm going to hit the end button and go watch some Star Wars. Thank you guys.